Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wrestling with the Future presents What's the Buzz? I'm the Mad Dog DeCipio. How you doing, everybody? Amelia, welcome back, Amelia. Pitbull Chapman, how the hell are you, lady?
I'm doing great. How are you? How's everyone?
Absolutely fantastic. Fantabulous I am. Tonight we have one hell of a show. I got two guys here who experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly of the politics of pro wrestling. Let's get right to it. A guy who was a star of the independent scene all over the East Coast, worked for Triple WA and the inimitable Dina Sana, and for wrestling superstars. What is it, Michael SSW or SWW? What was that company?
It was SSW, Superstar
They're not
Wrestling.
around anymore, so we could piss them off. Who gives a fuck?
No, they're still around.
Are they still around? Well, fuck them, because they suck anyway. A man who saw the bright light fade from him, Charlie Norris of WCW and NWA. This is a guy who lived the politics of pro wrestling. Boy, and did he. So let's talk about my friend Charlie Norris and Mr. Michael Murphy, Armageddon, the guy they call Armageddon. You guys, you lived the trenches. Charlie, I want to start with you right off the jump.
I just want to say it's great to meet that man right there. I know of him. Great guy, man. I heard a lot of good things about you.
Charlie, same here. I've heard a lot of good things about you. I believe we've actually met maybe once or twice before. Because when Angelo told me you were going to be on, I'm like, God, I said, I know that cat.
I probably did, man. You made a good impression, though, so I would remember if you made a bad one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So, Charlie, let's talk about this. You're a guy who lived it. The politics, Hollywood has the casting couch, Charlie. And that's been around for a long time, and it's no longer a secret. But talk to me about the politics of wrestling. It used to be being a good worker would get you in. What gets you in the door now, brother?
Well, what gets you in the door now is you got to know somebody. You got to be extremely lucky. You got to keep sending your tapes in. You got to promote yourself. You got to know someone maybe like Jim Ross. You got to know somebody, man. Like I knew Blackjack Lanza and everybody, and I know the Sheik and Kurt Hennig. A lot of the guys helped me. Road Warriors, with WWF and WCW. And Ole came up here just to see me work one time, and because I kept sending a bunch of fucking. He said, "I'm tired of you sending me damn tapes. I come seeing you myself." He just showed up. He didn't even tell us he was gonna be there that night, and I killed it, man. We had a great match. Had a good guy to work with, and he brought me down the next week. So you got to promote yourself. But these days, there's, I think there's more and more jobs. There's a lot of independents are coming back. Jesse Hernandez out in California, his guys got signed to development contracts. You gotta just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, man. Al Snow, it took him 16 years to get a break. 16 damn years. Man.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, but look at him now.
Oh, I love Al. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He should have made it in his third year, man. He didn't give up. He had a really fucking hard time.
Oh,
I remember
absolutely.
he was telling me down in Atlanta, North Carolina somewhere, but Ole and Gene had a little tryout camp, and he walked 16 miles because he didn't have enough money. And Gene beat the shit out of him. That's what the old guys used to do, beat you up. But I went to Brad Rangan school. That was a different kind of getting beat up. Eddie Sharkey too, but Brad Rangan would throw you around. I was working out with Pan American Games gold medalists. That's different. These guys weren't trying to beat you up and try to discourage you, And you just gotta know somebody. You gotta know somebody, or be related to somebody, or like the Samoans. All them guys are good, man. Every single one of them.
Well, I'll tell you, Charlie. You mentioned the Samoans. Our friend Mike Murphy, Armageddon, was trained by Pops.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I trained under Pops, yeah.
That's
up
not
in
easy.
Whitehall, PA.
You got to be tough. Is that Samu's dad, or is that Sika's dad, Samu?
That's Sammy's dad.
Okay,
Sammy's running the gym now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bob's is down in Florida.
Oh, okay, yeah, Pensacola, right?
I believe.
Yeah, he's in Pensacola now. It was the school that Murph went to was actually up in Pennsylvania. It was Allentown, I believe.
Yeah.
Whitehall, Allentown. Yeah.
Yeah, Whitehall, PA. Yeah.
Oh, them guys. That's not an easy training camp, man. If you
No,
get there,
that's
good. That's good on your resume. You got to be tough, man. You know, them guys are. I mean, true to life, badass, tough all the way.
Yeah.
Every single one of those guys are great, man.
Murph,
I'll tell you what. Offa's ring. I'll tell you what. Concrete was more forgiving than his training ring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
if you could bump in Offa's ring,
you
can bump anywhere.
Oh God, yeah.
So Murphy, let me ask you a question: does the casting couch still exist in wrestling?
Yes and no. Before, like Charlie said before, you had to know somebody who knew somebody who was second to cousin to somebody who knew somebody else. Now it's all pretty much, well, I want to be a wrestler, so I'm going to go to a wrestling school, and you pay your $3,500 to $5,000, whatever, and you go and you train, and you can tell at the training center who really wants it and who doesn't.
And there's 1,000 fucking wrestling schools right now.
Yeah, they're all over the place,
and there used to be none.
None. Yeah, exactly.
It was very protected.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I made
Here's what bothers me about that, and thank you, Murph, for bringing that up. There used to be none. The problem is when you had a handful, and I mean a handful, you had guys like Gene LaBelle. You had guys like Eddie Sharkey. You had Ole and Gene. You had Larry Pretty Boy Sharp. That was it. You had maybe 4, maybe 5 guys.
Well, Killer Kowalski had, his guys all made it, pretty sure.
Kowalski had his place up in Massachusetts, yeah.
I don't think he had a big school, but,
No, he had a
school. His school wasn't that big, but he turned out a huge amount of talent.
Yeah, good resume. Good resume.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But, here's the point
Triple H for one.
That you had all these schools being run by guys who didn't make it.
Yeah.
What does that say about the business? What does that say about the business?
Well,
I think it's saying that the business is taking a turn.
It is.
Mostly because just because these guys didn't make it doesn't mean they didn't learn their craft.
Yeah.
So I think it means the business is taking a bit of a turn to another direction. Now, what direction, I don't know.
I could not agree less.
I think that if you're like Bobby Fulton's opening a school in North Carolina with Sam or somewhere over there, and Sam Houston's a great team. He trained a lot of guys. He don't get credit for it. But anyway, if you get a local guy, a good local guy in your training school who's going to draw, which I did in the Minneapolis area, I had a good following, a really good following. We drew 800 people in my first match, and I wasn't even near ready to be in there, but they threw me in there some good guys. Fuck, I was scared to death, man. But
I'm right there with you, brother.
Yeah, you just get thrown in there, and but I learned, I just kept going, and I got to go to Brad Rangan School. I was one of the few that could go out there and work out with the Japanese when Inoki would bring his guys in, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was not everybody got invited to that. You get the shit kicked out of you, but it turned out really well for me. Brad trained Vader and Scotty Steiner. Well, Eddie helped with Scotty Steiner. A lot of guys. So if you go to Eddie Sharkey School too, you got a good reputation. I remember when I went down to WCW my first time, because Eddie's known as training crowbars, a lot of crowbars, Johnny Nord, and all really stiff guys. But I walked in the locker room, and the Nasty Boys asked who trained me, and I said Eddie Sharkey, and they zipped up their bag and they told Ole, said, "Fuck it, we quit." Kind of broke the ice a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I got lucky because the Dances with Wolves came out, and I was working in the trenches. I liked working in the trenches and the VFWs and all that, man. Loved it, man. I was working every night, man. But then
Amelia, I'm going to bring you into the conversation. The show is called The Politics of Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the politics of wrestling. Does the Good Old Boys Club still exist?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
To be honest with you, it doesn't to me. Because to be honest with you, the last time I watched wrestling was 4 years ago. To me, it's not as good as it was before.
Well, that's not the question I asked you. I said, does the Good Old Boys Club still exist?
No. To me, it doesn't, because wrestling isn't the way it was before. And to me, it's like I haven't watched a really good wrestling match in quite a long time.
You know the question I'm asking. I think Amelia's missing the point.
The Good Old Boys Club?
The Good Old Boys Club.
I haven't really paid that much attention to it, but I know like the Click and all that bullshit. And
that's what I'm talking about, Charlie.
Yeah,
that's
Shawn
what I'm
Walton's
talking
a
about.
really good buddy of mine. Them guys, Shawn Michaels had too much fucking power up there, and he's a big fucking baby. And I thought, their way. Road Dogg wasn't like that, but Shawn Michaels and them guys, they had too much power. You don't let the boys run the asylum, and like
exactly,
that's how it is in a lot of places. You don't exactly how it is in a lot of places.
But I don't think it's like that anymore.
Go ahead. When I was working, when I was getting near the middle to the end of my career, that's one thing I started noticing. I started noticing the guys who were working their asses off who were good wrestlers, but they weren't getting the push they should have.
Right.
I remember one kid, I can't think of his name, but this kid would go out there week after week or month after month in front of the crowd and just get his ass handed to him. And I remember one night backstage, the guys are doing the curtain peek and watching the monitor and watching him. And they're watching this kid get his ass kicked. And they're cracking jokes and they're laughing at him. And I turned around and I said, maybe instead of laughing at this kid, maybe you ought to step back and look at what he's doing. I said, this kid comes back week after week, month after month, and he doesn't give up. Exactly. I said, some of you guys get a hangnail and you can't show up.
Yeah.
I said, but this kid's putting in the time and paying his dues.
Exactly.
And I went to the promoter and I told the promoter that. And I said, give this kid a push.
Yeah.
I said, hell, put him in the ring with me. I'll put him over. I said, I got no problem doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I never had a problem looking up at the lights myself. And that's another fucking thing that sucked. I worked with Hercules and everybody loved Hercules and he was a good dude. After we went, he showed up 10 minutes. I was working with American Wrestling Federation with Sarge, Warriors of Wrestling. We had TV. I was working with Herc in the main event. He showed up 10 minutes before the match. He was all fucked up on pills or whatever the fuck it was. He didn't know what to do. He didn't want to do the job. He was mad because he had to do the job. He wouldn't cooperate. And I'm like, I said, Herc, who the fuck put you over when you first was a new guy? Did you just win all your fucking matches? And we almost got into it. But I had, I was with Nails and Barry Darsow and the Road Warriors and all the guys, and Hawk took him in the bathroom and said, and Herc came out and hugged me, but he acted like a fucking jerk and he was fucked up. It pissed me off, man. And I would have got fired if that was me. I would have got fired. If I was fucked up backstage like Scott Hall was all the time. I mean,
well, and then Charlie, you're making a perfect point. You're making a perfect point, Charlie. For the Good Old Boys Club, Herc could do no wrong because he was Hercules. That was the thing.
Yeah,
he had a name.
Prime too,
Exactly. So that's how it works on the big time.
Yeah,
Murphy, talk to me about how it works on the indies, brother?
On the indies nowadays, from what I've seen as of late, or from what I saw before when I first started, you set up the ring, you set up the chairs, you swept, you did whatever you had to do. You paid your dues, you sold tickets. And if you sold tickets and the promoter saw that you were, going the extra mile, he put you over, or he gave your gimmick a push. Now it's very clicky. If you're not in with the right group of friends, or you're not in with this group or that faction or whatever, and then it's like, okay, well then you're nobody. And I think it should go back to the old ways where you take the guys who are willing to do whatever it takes to get out there, to get known, to build a fan base, and working behind the scenes, they're not too good enough to say, oh, hey, I'll set up chairs, or I'll help put up or tear
You made
down
a good
the ring,
point,
put
though.
chairs
You made
away.
a good point. Sharky's guys, you had to sell tickets. You had to fucking sell tickets and bring him the money. If you didn't sell no tickets, then you shouldn't be on the show. But what I really didn't like was when guys would just let me get all my spots in. Well, fuck your spots. If it don't make sense, if it don't make sense during a match, I ain't gonna do it, and I never did. I'd blow them up, then I was like, well, you're blowed up. You couldn't do it. I'll triple flip off the fuck. I'm not going to fucking catch your fucking ass outside. I might miss you or something. Fuck.
Charlie, you just said something that strikes a nerve with me. The one thing that I cannot stand, and I promoted for 25 years, the one thing I never could stand was when a guy comes up to me and says, hey, Angelo, can I get my shit in tonight? What shit are you getting in?
Yeah.
You want to do all 5 moves that you have?
Yeah, in a row. It don't make no sense. One really good move, one or two good moves. Yeah, it's over. People know about it. It's like watching a bunch of fucking acrobats right now on TV, and great guys.
Yeah.
Right. You know what, Charlie? You're exactly right. They're jumping and flipping all over the place, and ain't nobody selling anything.
Exactly. Exactly. And Mr. Murphy worked for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He knows we had some prima donnas on our show.
Oh, we beat them guys up. They didn't last.
So did we.
Yep.
We beat the shit out of them backstage where nobody could see.
Yeah, and I think that's why Bobby Fulton is who he is now.
What's that, Amelia?
I think that's why Bobby Fulton is who he is now, because when he first started at Southwest Championship Wrestling, that's what he started doing. He started helping with the tickets. He started helping with the chairs, putting them up, and at our arena. And then here comes Eric Embry, Mr. Oh, I think I'm better than you, Bobby Fulton, and
Eric Embry sucks.
He would put like maybe 5 or 10 chairs, blah blah blah. He complained every time. I can't believe it. My back hurts. Well, excuse me. You had to wrestle just like Bobby Fulton, and here Bobby Fulton got his ass beat. But you know what? He still won the match. But here he is putting 20, 30 chairs. Come on, beating you to your 10 chairs. Come on.
Embry, first of all,
my God. Come on. Get over it.
Eric
His brother
Embry
was a great guy too. Jackie was a great guy, man. I love him.
Oh, get over it, Eric. Just do your job.
Eric was asshole buddies with the promoter, okay?
He is.
So let's just call a fucking spade a fucking spade, okay?
I mean, I hated seeing Eric Embry every time. All these girls were going, oh, go, Eric Embry. I'm like, oh my God, please, lady.
I never was a fan of his. He was boring. He was boring. He was bland. He sucked.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying the helping, though.
I never met him. I just said, he fucking sucks. I'd beat him up.
The guys that pissed me off the most, and I'm not, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. The guys that point anybody out, but the guys that pissed me off the most were the guys whose ego would show up to the arena 20 minutes before they did.
Exactly. Yeah.
We had a whole locker room full of them motherfuckers. Charlie, I had a whole locker room full of those guys.
And someone would let me go, oh, you suck. Well, yeah, you're in the indie circuit. I don't see Vince McMahon banging your door down.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope. Mm-mm.
You know,
to
you're
say
doing
that
the same
every
thing
show.
I'm doing, getting paid the same amount I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say to guys, when did Vince call you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
When did Vince call you?
Yeah,
Well,
when are you catching
yeah,
that
and
flight
he's
up to
not going
Connecticut?
to.
Mm-hmm.
Because your work rate sucks and you can't put people in seats.
Yep,
Yep.
asses in the seats is the main thing.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
If
That's
you
it.
can't put people in my building, you're doing me no good.
Nope.
No.
So
Exactly.
let's talk
I knew a
about
guy
that.
here that he would pay guys so he could win. That's how big of a fuck. He'd let him have his payout.
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Absolutely. And Charlie, let's talk about that. The politics of wrestling. Let's talk about what gets a guy a push.
Well,
Let's put it this way, Charlie. What used to get a guy a push?
Well, you got to be nice. You got to be tough. You got to be one of the boys. You got to be a gentleman. You got to have a good match. Fuck, you could get your shit in there, but have a good match and tell a story. You know, tell a good story for the fans. It ain't all about you doing all these fucking fancy fucking moves. That don't mean shit. Never did mean shit to me. And I had guys where, you know, I just wouldn't beat him up. I wouldn't hurt him, but I would just take over and kind of beat him up. Like Nails. Nails is a good friend of mine, man. I don't know if you know who that is. He's the one that
Yeah,
choked
sure.
out Vince. You know, and I hung out with tough people. I hung out with like Rick Rude. Rick Rude bumped his ass off for people, man. You know.
Absolutely, he did.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But
Absolutely,
he
he did.
shit. You ain't gonna take no shit either. You know, you're not supposed
No,
to.
not at
You're
all.
not supposed to. You know, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I found
Go ahead,
the
Murph.
thing in that was the willingness to do the job.
Yeah.
If
You know
got
what?
no
If I did the
problem-
job, I'm still gonna be fucking over next week. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, look,
People don't understand, and I've asked this question. The only person I ever heard that gave me the answer that I could live with was Eddie Mansfield. I said, what's the difference between getting over and being over? Everybody would say to me, well, if you get yourself over, the fans will keep you over.
Yeah.
Not true.
Yeah.
Not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. Here's how it was explained to me. You have to get yourself in a position. Here's what Eddie said. Get yourself in a position where the people will put you over.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you'll stay there.
It'll take a while. Sometimes it takes a while to get over, but you will stay over.
And that's the key.
Yep.
You just validated
Yep.
what Mansfield said.
Yep. You stay over.
You can get yourself over, Charlie, to a certain degree, but the people are going to put you over and keep you there if they like you. Now, whether you're a baby or whether you're a heel, because the people, let's be honest about it, they love people to love and they love people to hate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
I always made the people part of the match, and I always look for a few people that. And I always tell the heel, look for that one or two people in there, make them part of the match. And then everybody else will follow through. I made people part of the match. I made them feel like they were part of me in there, you know?
Well, see, the other thing too, Charlie, is that because you're Native American, there's never, ever been a Native American heel.
I wanted to be a heel.
Always.
I don't know if it would have worked. I pitched it to Sarge. You know, we own casinos now, and I was going to get all decked out in big, long braids and a suit and a briefcase and whoever else is with me. And we're going to buy back all the land because we got casinos now and all the land that you stole from us. I would have been a babyface on the reservations.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But here's the thing. There's never been a heel Native American.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, Mr. Armageddon here has never been a baby face in his life.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So, Murphy, what's it like trying to stay over and remain over as a heel, knowing the people love you, so much that they love to hate you so much. That's over, by the way. People don't get that a heel can get over.
Well, because you know, most likely you're going to cheat somehow, or you know something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who's a good heel that stayed over?
I'll give you, Charlie. I am going to give you, my friend, the perfect example. The perfect example of the quintessential heel who got over like Rover. Superstar Billy Graham.
Billy Graham. Oh God, yeah, he stayed over too. Yep, I loved his work. He was a great worker. A lot of people say because he didn't go flying around. He didn't have to. Let them other guys fucking do that shit.
Well,
man.
I mean, Charlie Murph, look at the way he was built.
Yeah.
He was the guy looked like a fucking champion bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. He was bigger than Arnold.
Yep, he was. And there was only one guy. There was only one guy like
over as a heel and stayed over as a heel.
Yeah, he was the only guy.
That guy that you love to hate.
He was different. There wasn't 5 superstar Billy Grahams on the show. Jesse Ventura copied Billy Graham to a T, but that was after he retired. And Jesse stayed over as a heel because he had good energy.
Yeah.
And he
was so did Terry Hogan.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Murphy, I need you to check your microphone, brother. You cut out on us a bit.
Okay, no, can you hear me?
No, you're coming. You sound like you're underwater.
Well, my mic's on.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
What I did to be a heel and to stay over as a heel was, I was just an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had to do was be an asshole.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And each time I went out, I just became a bigger asshole than I was the week or the month before.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you get the people to hate you and you have them in the palm of your hand, and I brought this gentleman up before, one of the best heels out there going right now, MJF.
Yo, God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This kid as a heel is over, like so huge.
Yeah,
I'll sit there and he even pisses me off.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. If you could get away with the shit that MJF does, you're good.
Yeah.
And by the way,
see, that's where he's getting over, because now he's getting over. Back in the day, you could say stuff like he was saying, nobody really blink an eye. But we're so politically correct as a society now that he's saying normal stuff.
Exactly.
But it's getting them over.
Here's the thing, though. And this is the key thing. This is why he's so over. The boys in the back, heels and baby faces, they love this kid because he knows how to get heat.
Yeah.
He knows how to get heat and he knows how to stay hot.
He's believable. He's very believable.
Exactly, Charlie. Exactly.
Yes.
And that's why, and I think that's why MJF reminds everybody of like a young Steve Austin, a young Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Roddy Piper, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, God, yeah. Piper,
he really does.
When you can look at a crowd and say, I'm better than you, and you can make them believe it, and that's one of his taglines is, I'm better than you, and you can make them think that he actually believes it himself. That's where the psychology comes into it from.
Exactly.
And he's even said, I'm not here to make friends with anybody. I'm not here to please you idiot fans. I'm here to make a lot of money.
Exactly. Amelia, who's the person you love to hate? Who's the one man or woman that you love to hate?
Who I love to hate as far as what, living
as poker partners, as far as wrestlers.
Who I love to hate now, or
what's going on with you? Well, no, who do you really love to hate in wrestling?
Tully Blanchard.
Tully. Okay, well he's about 40 years past his prime.
I'm sorry.
But even now, even though he's 40 years past his prime, Tully still knows how to get heat.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
I can't stand
Oh,
him.
yeah.
I could not stand him from the beginning.
Exactly. And that my point is, here we are. And Charlie, we said it just a moment ago. Once you're over, whether it's as a heel or a baby, you're over for life. Look at Tully. He's been in the business 45 years. He's still hated everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Angelo,
hate
do you know the reason why he's still hated? What solidified him as a heel? The slap heard around the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I know him and
when he slapped Baby Doll, that solidified him as a heel.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated him from way back before then.
Oh, yeah. Well, Baby Doll talked about that on the
Oh,
show.
Yeah.
Oh,
He did.
She on there?
Oh, yeah. Baby Doll was on my show. She's been here 5 times.
Oh, yeah. Her kid's a good worker, man. Her
Oh,
Samantha
Samantha Starr.
Yeah.
Samantha, by the way, Charlie, we just had Amelia and I just had Missy Hyatt on the show.
Oh, yes.
I love Missy.
Missy was here last week. She's coming back.
Yeah. They treated her like fucking shit in WCW, man.
I know. She told us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially Eric Bischoff was horrible.
Amelia, why don't you tell everybody the story that Missy Hyatt told us about the famous picture?
With the Eric Bischoff where she showed her boob.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shot. It was a photographer that just took a picture of her without her permission, and she was going to this interview, and she passed the hallway, and boom, there it was right there, like a big picture. It was like 11 by 14, just right there for the whole world to see.
A photographer, and that's what she's telling you is absolutely true. A ringside
photographer.
Ringside photographer took a picture of her.
Yeah. Okay. Them not long after I did, and I know Eric Bischoff treated her like fucking shit, man.
Eric Bischoff did.
Yeah.
I know. I was there. I seen it.
Oh yeah.
She's such a sweetheart. She did her job.
She is.
Oh my God, she's wonderful.
She did her job, man.
She told us, and I'm very proud of this, and I'm going to rub this in everybody's nose out there.
I love Missy Hyatt.
Missy Hyatt doesn't do podcasts, and she doesn't do interviews, but she did ours, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we were honest with her, okay? And we didn't talk about wrestling, but for maybe this much.
But maybe 5 minutes the most.
We talked about Missy, the person behind the character, the human being.
Sweetheart.
She ever just wanted to be acknowledged as a person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a sweetheart.
Who she is, what she does, what her favorite things are to do. That's what we talked about.
Mike Murphy, let's talk about politics on the indie circuit. You've been the victim of locker room politics a couple of times in your career. Give me an example of the one time that you were really blindsided or Pearl Harbored by office politics.
One time, and this is my opinion of it, I'm sure the other guys have their own version, their own opinion of it, which they're totally entitled to. I was in a four-way dance, and I was supposed to paddle out of the ring with another worker.
I'm losing your audio, Mike.
To go at it with each other. And during the match, which we did, I mean, I did everything I was told to do, excuse me. And the referee at the time was a special guest referee. He was the heavyweight champion of SSW. And he was a referee, and the match is going on inside the ring. Me and this other guy working outside the ring, like I was told. Well, the referee kept getting closer and closer and closer to the action. Well, Charlie, you know as well as I do, if you get too close to the action, what happens?
Yeah.
You get pulled into it.
Something could slip, you could miss, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You get pulled into it, which is what happened. Long story short, all of a sudden, I'm not booked on the next show. My phone calls aren't being returned, and finally, when I got hold of the promoter, well, a lot of the guys think you went into business for yourself. And this, I said, no. I said, I saved that match. I said, I'm not tooting my own horn. I saved that match because the crowd was sitting there chanting, boring. I said, when I got so-and-so outside of the ring and we started working Broadway and we started doing whatever came to mind, I said, and then you came in and you got too close to the action and I pulled you into it. That's when the crowd erupted. That's when the crowd got into the match.
Yeah, if you're a special referee and he's selling tickets and something like that and he fucking listens, that's different. But if he's trying to get himself over, yeah, you know, hey, man, duck the chop, brother. I'm going to chop this motherfucker. It happened to me one time.
Charlie Norris.
I chopped the fuck out of him and the crowd went crazy.
Charlie Norris, let me ask you a question. Is there ever a time that it's justifiable, Charlie, to go into business?
Yeah, as long as you don't hurt him. You know, if he's going to be a referee and be in there, the referee's supposed to be invisible. You know, if we had a mayor as a special referee one time, and we had a midget tag midget, he did great. Man. He did fucking great. But yeah, if it's planned, but if he's trying to make himself part of the match, no. You know, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something to this guy. Yeah. I think I got like 5% left on my phone here, my man. I hope I don't lose you. I've been driving in traffic for 4 fucking hours.
If I lose you at this point, it's okay because you've been with us for the entire show so far. Yeah. So you get a pass.
Yes.
Talk, my dear. I love you. I give you a kiss.
Charlie, let me tell you, brother, it's a pleasure to see you again. God bless you. I wish you the best of luck.
Oh, brother, maybe we'll run into each other somewhere. I'm going to Charlotte for the gathering.
I'll tell you what, Charlie.
I might be coming down for that.
Come up to me.
I was just going to say, I'd like to invite Charlie, if you're ever around the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area, hit up Mr. Murphy or myself. We'll show you a good time.
Hey, Charlie, we'll all go out, we'll get steaks, and we'll make Angelo pay.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
He'll be the rest. Put him in the ring again.
I'm gonna go be visiting Karen McDaniel. I wanted to promote her shirt and her book today, but I don't got time. But it's on Amazon.com. Wahoo McDaniel's book. It's a must read.
Yes, I've actually had. It's funny you say that, Charlie, because Karen was actually here with. I don't know if you know this, but I'm the person that set her up with John Cosper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great!
I'm the one. Yeah, I'm responsible for that book.
Really good for you.
Yeah,
great job, man. That's a great.
I'm gonna tell. Well, John was here with Karen. Karen's been on the show 5 times.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Actually, I'm gonna go visit her on May 17th. I'm gonna go visit her for 10 days.
Do me a favor, please. I'm going to ask you to do this for me. When you see her. Give her a big hug for Angelo and tell her this is from Angelo from the podcast.
I will. Okay? Thank you. I will.
And tell her that there's no place like L.A., Lower Alabama.
Lower Alabama.
Right?
Exactly.
Right?
That's great.
And tell her that my dad was her dad's biggest fan.
You have to be a Karen McDaniel insider to know what LA is.
Yeah. My dad was from Alabama. My dad was from Warrior, Alabama. So he's a Cherokee.
Absolutely.
I love Alabama. I've been all over. I love everybody. I love everybody, man. I give everybody the rope, you know?
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, Charlie, listen, I'm going to do this because I know you've been on the road. I'm going to let you go. Okay. I'm going to boot you out of here now so you can get some rest and pull over and grab yourself some grub.
Exactly.
So listen, brother, I love you, brother. I got your phone number. I'm going to hit you up.
Anytime, any fucking time. Give my number to my man over here. Y'all call me anytime.
Absolutely. Oh, God, absolutely.
Y'all call me anytime. Y'all got my number. Call me. I don't give a damn. Not too many people have my number, but you all have it. Call me anytime.
I'll make sure Amelia bugs the shit out of you.
I don't care.
There you go.
Got my number. She can call me.
Okay.
Beautiful. Take care, Charlie Norris. You're the best.
I love talking about the business. I love y'all. Thank you.
Take care, brother.
Thank you. It's good to see you again.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you again, right? I want to be on your.
You bet.
Absolutely.
You got it.
I love Charlie. He's great. Great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So-
how can you not?
Oh, please. Are you kidding me? Murph,
Yes,
you
sir.
are up to bat, front and center. So let's talk about, and you heard Charlie talk a little bit about his too, but let's talk about the inside the wrestling, to lack of a better word, the wrestling bubble, the political aspect of politics. Amelia,
Mhm.
before I let Mike answer this, I want you to segue into it.
Okay.
Give me an example of somebody who you think, based on either their look, their work, or whatever, somebody that you think got to where they are by not working hard.
By not working hard at all. I would
Yeah.
say,
So, in
Let's
other
see.
words, somebody who slept their way to the top. I'm trying to be kind about it, but there's no
Slept
way
their way
to
to
be
the
kind
top?
about it.
well, let's just be honest with you. Triple H, look at him.
Really?
Oh, the
Yeah.
$1 billion son-in-law.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him. I mean,
Really?
think about
the
it.
$1 million son-in-law.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much. Look at. I mean, as soon as Stephanie got his
Can
eye
I
on him,
tell you
boom.
that I disagree with that, and I'm going to tell you
Well,
why?
I mean, okay.
Because I want to tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Paul Levesque was and is an incredibly bright
Mm-hmm.
businessman. And I think what he did was not sleep his way to the top. I think what he did was strict corporate leverage. He
Mm-hmm.
leveraged his way into a successful position. I don't care how you slice and dice it.
Position himself.
Yeah, he positioned himself. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you who I do think slept their way to the top. Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, maybe Bailey, maybe Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Although of the people I just mentioned, Charlotte's probably the most athletically gifted of all of them.
Maybe Hogan's daughter, probably. You think
Who?
Hogan's daughter?
Hogan's daughter.
Well, she's like right
She's
in
not
there
a
on.
blip on the radar, Amelia.
Well, she's like on AEW. She's like a commentator and stuff like that. Have you seen
No,
her?
I'm talking about workers.
Oh, workers. Okay.
I'm talking about wrestlers. She's not a wrestler. She will never be a wrestler.
No.
I actually think in TNA, I think his daughter saved Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
I think his daughter saved.
I will not disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seemed to me like he was at TNA. He was pimping his daughter out to TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't disagree with that one either, Mike.
No, I mean, politics in wrestling, it's always going to be there. You're going to have factions. You're going to have guys whose egos are bigger than their ability. You got guys who are going to be in the promoter's ear. Hey, do this with this guy, do this with that guy, don't do this, that, or the other thing with these guys. These guys are no good, they suck.
You know who you just
have
described?
The guys who, like I said,
I know
work
exactly
their
what you might
asses
say.
off.
Yeah, you know who you just described?
I think I know who you're going to say, Angelo.
Who's that?
Tully Blanchard. You just described Tully Blanchard.
And I think you were going to say the Von Erichs, weren't you?
No, but the Von Erichs are right behind Tully Blanchard.
See, I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew he was going to say that.
But you know what? The Von Erichs, I think the Von Erichs are the epitome of nepotism.
That's my point.
I mean,
and they're cursed, I think.
When your daddy owns the company that you're wrestling in, imagine
they better
that.
be in the wrestling business.
And that's my point. But that's exactly why I'm saying Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
Because Tully Blanchard's father was the promoter.
Exactly.
Joe Blanchard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Blanchard and Fritz Von Erich had a lot in common.
Mm-hmm.
They both had lousy sons who couldn't work, who became champions.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Mansfield said on this show, it's a matter of public record,
Yeah.
Eddie Mansfield said on this show, Tully Blanchard couldn't go to bed at night unless he had a belt to hug.
Mm-hmm.
He would
But
sleep
now
with
look
his
at
belt.
Tessa Blanchard. Look at
Mhm.
Tessa.
Tessa
Hell of a
is
worker.
10. Wait a minute, brother. Tessa is 10 times the worker her father is.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And she's incredibly gifted athletically.
Mhm.
Amazing athlete.
It's like she's not even
And
related to
I'm-
Tully.
And I'm going to say this, and I know what a lot of the fans out there, it's going to go against the grain, especially with a lot of the guys out there that are workers. What I've seen as of late, and in the past couple of years, the women's division of professional wrestling, not one company, but of
Mhm.
professional wrestling as a whole, the women's division, the women are working harder than the men.
Yes, because they're tired of being the diva this, the diva that. They're
Thank you.
tired of showing their, what's off. They're wanting to show themselves as actual athletes that can do the business instead of being the little, I can show my, what's off, and there I am.
want to see
Mhm.
women in wrestling who look like athletes.
Exactly.
I don't want to look at Bailey. She looks like,
Mhm.
she
Mhm.
she looks like a bag of,
Mhm.
flesh-colored bones. She's
Exactly.
she can't work. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I'm
Well,
sorry, Bailey.
she's out,
You're
isn't she?
wonderful,
Mhm.
but I don't like you, and you can't work. Okay, so here's the thing. And Alexa Bliss, she's a face. She's a wannabe actress model. She's not a wrestler. Go home.
No.
Okay, leave wrestling.
Trish Stratus
Liv-
was a great
Liv
wrestler
Morgan,
to me.
leave wrestling. You're another actress model. Go away. Wrestling's not for you. Okay, just find something else to do, but don't wrestle.
No.
I'll
To
tell
me,
you
a
what I
female
wanna
wrestler was
see.
Trish
I want
Stratus.
to see more people that
Mhm.
look like Tessa, more people that look like Charlotte. I want to see more
Thunder
people who
Rosa.
look like,
Mhm.
yeah. I want to see people who look like Joni Lauer.
Yes.
People like I want to see women who look like athletic wrestlers.
Now, see,
They don't
now
have
I
to
got to
be-
bring something up, and this is something I can't believe. That first off, Joni Lauer is not in the Hall of Fame because she did porn movies. Okay, but Tammy Sitch can kill somebody, and
Well,
she's
yeah,
still
I
in.
know where you're going. Yeah, but Joni is in the Hall of Fame.
When did they put her in?
About 3 years ago.
Really? Finally?
She went in with the Click. With DX.
What, with DX?
Oh, DX.
Yeah. In fact,
All right.
Sean Waltman was the one who inducted her.
I don't recall that.
Go on YouTube, look.
Oh.
I'm serious. Go on YouTube.
Well,
You can't
but
make
I
this
mean,
stuff up.
well, no, I mean, she should be in as a
As
wrestler,
herself.
a
She
single
should be
wrestler.
in by her. Well, again, it's not who you know, it's who you blow. Okay, Tammy. I'm sorry, Tammy, but I got to speak the truth. Tammy did everybody in that company from the top to the janitor. Okay, and all the boys in between.
All
That's
I
it.
can say is I hope that somewhere along the line Tammy gets the help that she desperately needs.
She's beyond help right now. She's not beyond hope. Let me say this because I'm going to say something that's going to be controversial. She is not beyond hope. Everyone has hope, but
Yes.
you can't
Yeah.
help you can't help her because you cannot help a person who doesn't want help.
Exactly.
No,
And she
that's
doesn't
absolutely
want-
true.
And she doesn't want help. That's the problem. She's a sweet girl. Mike, better than anybody.
I met her backstage at the show we did at the Sands Hotel and Casino.
Yeah, she worked for me. She's a sweet girl.
She's a sweetheart of a lady, really nice. I wanted to go up and talk to Chris Candido, but I didn't want to see him, like a lot of the other guys who were around him were marking out around him.
Yeah.
And she looked at me. She says, "What's up?" I said, I said, well, first, I said, Timmy, let me tell you, I enjoy your work and all. I said, I'd really like to talk to Chris. I said, but I don't want to seem like I'm marking out. She grabbed me by my shirt. She said, oh, the hell with that. Come here. And she took me over. She says, Chris, this is Mike. Mike, this is my husband, Chris. Chris, he really wanted to talk to you, but, he was afraid you'd think he was marking out. And he's like, oh, no, hell no, brother. Come on, let's talk. Yeah. And we talked for about 10, 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. May rest in peace. Great guy.
We just had his guy. Mike. We just had his brother here.
Yes.
And his brother, surprised to me, but his brother was at that show.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Plim is here.
Yes.
Stephen Plim's here. Who's that? The best voice in show business next to me. Stephen, let's be honest with you. I'm better than you. I love you too, Stephen. Who loves you, baby?
If he says that he's better,
by
he's
the
lying.
way, ladies and gentlemen, the man you see up there on the screen, Stephen Plim, was the manager of the famous ukulele-yielding entertainer named Tiny Tim, whose big hit "Tiptoe Through the Tulips" went berserk worldwide. And
Stephen, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Question I have for Mr. Plim is, it's been widely known that Tiny Tim was germophobic, but I heard that he took it to the extreme. Is that true?
Absolutely. He talked about it on the show. He was extremely religious, too. He used to pray 5-6 times a day, even to the point where he would sometimes miss a gig because he had to pray. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, Steve Plim talked about it on the show. He wrote a great book called Tiny Tim and Mr. Plim. Yeah, he's back here, Mr. Plim. Let's see what he's got. He goes, oh, yeah. Mike, he answered your question. He goes, you have no idea.
No idea.
Steven, when are you coming back on the show, brother? I got to have Stephen Plim back on the show. Because, the greatest voice in podcasting needs to have the second greatest voice in podcasting.
And you said correctly, you have yes.
Absolutely. So, Steve Plim, get well soon. Get your shit together because I'm bringing you back on television.
Yeah. And I agree. Angela's the best voice ever. So if anybody disagrees with me, they have to answer to me. All right.
There you go. So Murphy, let's talk, brother. What's going on for Mr. Michael Murphy?
Let's see. I just started a part-time job today as a CDL instructor at the local tech school here.
You got the gig. Good
Yay!
for you.
Congratulations.
Congrats, brother.
It's just something to help keep me busy and help put safe drivers out on the road.
Okay.
I started that today, so I'm still in the training phase. Shadowing another instructor around to see how they do their curriculum and that kind of thing.
Beautiful.
Other than that, I might end up seeing Chala in South Carolina at the gathering.
Right.
I'm thinking about heading down there for that.
I'll tell you what. Let's do this right now. If you go down for the gathering, go down and represent Wrestling with the Future podcast and capture me some interviews, and we will compensate you.
Well, like I said, that's if I go. I'd have to see if I can get the time off. So I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay. Well, if not, then I'm going to send Amelia there.
Okay.
Well, no, she can get the time off. Yeah, she got tenure. She can get the time off. Stephen Plim says, as soon as you let me come back on.
Other than that, I'm just living my life day to day.
Beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what, man. This been a really good show. I thought this was a really good show tonight.
Yeah.
Fabulous show. Amelia, what do you think with the politics of wrestling?
Oh, I love it. I got to learn a lot more.
Yeah, it's a very interesting subject because, they say everything old is new again.
Yes.
So I'm seeing a return,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, a return to old school values.
Yes.
I think
Finally, like that.
finally Vince McMahon is finally, relinquishing his grip a little bit because I think, first of all, I think he has to,
Yes. And
Yeah.
he's getting older.
because he's killing his own company, and people they
Yeah.
don't even
Well,
realize
he's
that.
relinquishing his grip instead of losing it.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I think that
That's a
if
very,
Stephanie
very,
and
very well put.
I
Very
think
good
if
way to
Stephanie
put
and
it.
Paul actually got full control, I think we'd see a lot better wrestling and a lot better wrestlers and a
Yeah.
lot better matches. I think again.
Well,
I
and I
think
think
they need to tone down the flash and the glitz. I think they need to stop with starting a show at 8 o'clock on a Monday night, and you might see a match at like 8:30, 8:45.
Less talking, more matches, more less acrobats.
far
Exactly.
too many,
Mm-hmm.
way too many promos.
Yes.
Amelia, what is your take on that?
The promos, I think it's just way too much. Just get more matches, just get more of the fans into the matches. Get the
Is it
fans
a
more.
waste of time, or are
It
they
is too
trying
much.
to accomplish something? And if so, what
I
is
think
that?
they're wasting airtime. I think
I think it's a big waste of airtime. I
it is
think
waste.
I
WWE is a
agree.
huge. I think
Hmm.
WWE is a huge waste of airtime.
It is because I think they need to put more matches in there. I think it's just like what 5 matches through the whole 2 hour show.
Maybe if you're lucky, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Right, Mike? Maybe 5, 6
Oh no,
matches.
I agree with Amelia
I,
100%.
Yeah,
But now, if you look at AEW, match right from the get go.
yeah, match after
yeah,
match after match, and maybe you'll get 3 or 4 promos in between, and that's
maybe.
it.
Yeah,
And more
yeah.
And
commercials.
you don't
Hmm.
have to wait
Hmm.
for a pay per view to
No,
see the match that you want to see.
no, you
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. Let's talk about that, Murph, for a couple seconds.
Okay.
Pay-per-view quality matches. There used to be a time that on any given Monday or Thursday night, you
Hmm.
would see pay-per-view quality matches on Nitro
Yes.
or SmackDown or Raw or any number of these programs on television. Or Thunder, WC Thunder or
Mhm.
WC Monday Night, Monday Nitro.
Yeah.
Any given program, there was, you know, um, arena quality
Hmm.
matches, and now all of a sudden they went away, and the whole arena business disappeared. Now there are very little in the way of live shows. Okay. And
Yeah.
when you do go to a live show, you're going to spend probably $1.50, $200 for a ticket,
Yes.
and you're going to see the same hour of talking in person that you could see for free at home.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Exactly. I
So
think WWE has become a victim of its own Frankenstein monster.
absolutely, no argument from us.
Nope.
No argument from us.
And the same
I
T-shirts you can buy there, you can buy online, basically as well.
exactly.
Hmm.
Well,
Mhm.
what do you make, Amelia? Here, I'll throw
Hmm.
another one to you. What do you
Hmm.
make of these local promotions around the country
Hmm.
that are using the internet as their television?
Oh yeah, same thing. It's like you can watch it free on the internet, basically, instead of paying $25 to $30 a ticket, basically,
Well,
just for.
Murph, what do you make of the internet being used as television where people are charging to
Hmm.
watch on YouTube?
Hmm.
What do you think?
I
What do you
think
make of that?
I think it's hurting the business because
I agree
going
with
to
you.
a show was an event in itself.
Yes,
You
it
would
wasn't
have,
one time.
if you were married and had a couple kids, you would get the tickets, way before the show. You had
Hmm.
something to look forward to. You took the wife and the kids out to dinner. Then you went and saw the show. You got to meet the wrestlers, maybe get an autograph, and everybody went home happy. The wrestlers would actually try and give the fans their money's worth of what they were paying for the ticket.
What was exciting too is
so I
listening
think
to the
it's
radio
hindering
stations
the
and winning
wrestling
tickets.
business more than anything. I think the wrestling business needs to take 5 to 10 steps back.
Yeah, at
to
least
what it used to be.
Yes.
I don't
Back
think
in
the
the
wrestling.
day.
That's a very good point. And here's what I say. I don't think the wrestling business knows what it used to be.
No, not anymore. It doesn't.
I think
That's
they've lost
because you
touch
got
of
guys
what
who are retiring out of the business now.
You just said the magic words.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You just said the magic words, Mike. They're all leaving. They're all retiring.
Yeah.
The old school is gone.
Look at the guys who built the business up to where it is now. Guys like, and you had brought this up. Charlie had brought this up about guys who could heels who could get over and stay over. Look, and I want to bring up Dusty Rhodes. If you watch him, how many matches did he actually win?
Very few.
He didn't win a lot of matches, but he was over.
He didn't need to.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a person who had his character. He was able to get it over. Whether he won or lost, he was over with the crowd.
If Dusty Rhodes lost the match, he got more over because the people were, oh, Dusty, you lost this time. That's okay. We're with you. We're going to stick with you till you win, baby. That was that's the psychology.
Right.
You know, Murph. Yeah, how long, Murphy, in the history of this show, have I been harping on psychology?
Since day one.
Since day one. And nobody understands psychology because you got to be old school to know what the fuck it is. And they don't know. These kids don't know.
No, they don't. And that's the one thing that a lot of them are missing.
Because they're being taught in wrestling schools by people who never wrestled. And that's what people don't fucking get. Larry Sharp, God rest his soul. Larry Sharp was a wrestler. He had a school, the Monster Factory. Afa Anawai owned a wrestling school. He was a fucking champion, for crying out loud. Okay? Ed Sharkey was a champion. He owned a school. But guess what? You're a handful of guys. That was it. If you knew somebody who knew somebody, they could get you in with Larry Sharp.
Well, not only that, but look at managers who knew psychology. The Grand Wizard, Lou Albano.
Brilliant. It was
Freddie Blassie.
Genius.
Mr. Fuji.
Absolutely. I loved Harry Fuji, too, by the way. He was one of my neighbors in Tennessee.
Harry Fuji was one of those guys you love to hate him.
I used to see Mr. Fuji every day. I loved him. He was always hitting me up for money. I'm not even kidding. I can't make this up. He was always hitting me up for money.
But now I see the wrestlers of now, the wrestlers today. Well, I'm a sports entertainer / actor / athlete / writer or author /
Are you a wrestler? That's my question.
Exactly.
That's my question. Are you a wrestler? Is that in any of those slashes or hashtags?
Should have been first.
Murphy, tell everybody.
Well, listen, I always thought of myself as a professional wrestler. I was never a sports entertainer.
Good for you, brother. Well, I'll tell you what. You're over here. You're a superstar here. Tell everybody where they can get a hold of you.
Say that again?
Tell everybody where they can get a hold of you.
They can find me on Facebook at Michael Murphy on Facebook. And they can see me out and about.
And Amelia.
Yes, sir.
Plug your social. Where can people get a hold of you? And tell everybody what's coming up.
They can get a hold of me at Amelia Bluriel Chapman on Facebook or aachap70 at Gmail. So if they want to promote a show, or on our Instagram on What's the Buzz, or here on Tuesdays and Thursdays with you. We have a wonderful show coming up with, we got Carver Pike coming up on Thursday, and we have,
A horror author.
yes, a horror author,
I'm
and
looking
hopefully he'll
forward to
bring
that
that knife. He has a wonderful, big, huge knife.
Yeah. We
And then we
also
have-
have a couple of incredible shows coming up. We
Mhm.
got the Academy Award-winning writer Bruce Valanche will be
Yes.
here. I have got Country Music Hall of Famer Lacey J. Dalton coming
Mhm.
in. And we have, let's see who, oh my God, we got so many.
Mary Murphy.
We got Mary Murphy from So You Think
Mhm.
You Can Dance.
Yes.
I might
No
bring Murphy
relation.
on. I was going to say I might bring Murphy on for that one. So there's another Murphy to talk
Murphy,
to.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Right?
Welcome to the Murphy Show. And
There
no,
you
I
go.
can't dance.
Exactly. And I am Mad Dog DeCipio. You can find me on Facebook at the Mad Dog DeCipio, or on Twitter at Mad Dog DeCipio. On Twitch at Wrestling with the Future. You can reach me at wrestlingwiththefuture@gmail.com. Catch us on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo. Where the hell else are we? Everywhere you can find the podcast, we're there.
That's right.
We have a couple of really, really amazing shows coming up. The return of the son of Sam, the Fab Four, the Beatles, Who Killed Paul, Animal Welfare, the Drug Experience, the Ukrainian-Russian War, the Politics of Show Business coming up, the Kennedy Assassination Part 2. Mike Murphy was Part 1. The 27 Club. We'll talk about the infamous 27 Club. The Psychic Gifts, and Film versus Television. We will talk about all of these and more on upcoming episodes of Wrestling with the Future presents What's the Buzz?
Absolutely.
Until such time, take care, everybody. Be good to each other, and keep tuning in. We love you.
Absolutely.
The numbers are good, and we want to keep getting them better. Take care, everybody. See you next time.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, everyone.
And for the Wolf
Bye-bye,
Man.
everybody.
Ah, baby.